person here has been nostalgia. Somebody or everyone has some kind of a relationship with it. Like me, I came from Mumbai, so it was a fascination for me to be a part of German bakery, or to be here, to sit on those long tables, have the yak cheese sandwiches, have the tea there. It's like, it was unique, it was different. It was like a cultural melange of everyone.
It's been a long relationship with Pune and with the bakery. I've been to Pune pretty much every summer vacation from where I grew up, which is in Dubai. And then I eventually moved here to study and eventually now to work as well. And relationship with the bakery was also, you know, right from the beginning of college, as just as a neighborhood coffee shop, which was so close to home. But yeah, it was a frequent one.
So I was quite a regular at the German bakery. It was kind of our hangout spot after college. When we used to go there, it was like 15 rupees for a cup of tea. And now it's like 100 rupees for a small slab of butter cake. So they've made it fancier now, so it's more expensive.
The German bakery is a famous landmark of the city that's frequented mainly by foreigners. One foreigner has died in this blast, according to reports, while another is injured. All the injured have been taken to nearby hospitals, including Ruby Hospital, the Jahangir Hospital and the Sassoon Hospital. Home Secretary G.K. Pillai said an unidentified bag handled by a bakery employee triggered the blast. The German bakery is located near the Osho Ashram in Koregaon Park, that also houses the Ghubad House. Maharashtra's Chief Minister Ashok Chavan announced 1 lakh rupees each to the families of those dead and 50,000 rupees each to those injured. Intelligence Bureau sources indicate that it's the work of an Indian Mujahideen module. Shehzad, the terrorist arrested recently, reportedly told the Delhi police that the module is at work in Pune and that its mission is to kill as many foreigners and create panic in the country. Let's also get you a couple of eyewitnesses' accounts from the spot.
The day the blast happened, we were out for a musical concert, a few of my friends and me. And then after the musical concert, we were actually planning to come to German bakery for dinner. But as soon as the blast happened, my mom called me and she was like, I want you home as soon as possible. Come back home. Don't ask me questions. Just come back home. I was asking my mom what happened, but she was not she was not telling me.
We were hanging out in Koregaon Park, and a few of us then went to a German bakery. And I think I was there the entire afternoon into the evening and meeting people. People were coming and leaving, and I was there. Then another friend of mine came, and we just stepped out of German bakery. We were across the road. I think we're either going to another coffee shop or something like that, and the blast happened. My immediate reaction was that it's probably a cylinder blast, because I've witnessed a cylinder blast before. So I thought the noise is like that, and that's what I thought. And plus they have a kitchen there. But the minute I saw all the cops and everything there, I realized that probably it's something bigger.
When I get a message on my mobile saying a cylinder blast in German bakery, it did not say bakery first. It only said cylinder blast in KP. Then the second message came in German bakery. Second message. So we were okay. It's a usual thing. Some blasts keep on happening, but the curiosity was picked. German bakery, a cylinder blast. Then news started coming in. We started getting messages upon messages, like it's not a blast. That was the last message that I got. It's not a blast, and we were wondering what happened. And I started getting calls from all across. Since I work as a freelancer, I started getting calls from BBC, the Reuters, and every German television. My Japanese, the NHK, they're all posted in Delhi. They said, Prachi, something's happened. Can you find out? Can you give us all the information? I said, wait, let me find out, because I'm still in the train. So I keep on calling my friends. A lot of my journalist friends don't pick up the calls. And I'm like, what's happening? Finally, I have a friend in the crime who covers crime very extensively. He's very good. He tells me, Prachi, something wrong, something's very wrong. I said, what? German bakery, it's a blast. I said, yeah, I heard it's a LPG blast. I said, no, it's not that kind of blast. Terrorist attack.
I was there for a very short time after the blast because people, like the police, started evacuating the place, and but whatever few moments I was there, it was horrible. There was like blood, and there were a lot of accidents. People were crashing into each other on the streets, and you could see that the whole place was there was chaos everywhere.
The German bakery bomb blast, when it happened, I was 2 minutes walking distance from here. So when I heard this noise, first of all, when I heard this noise, I felt it was a different kind of a noise. But then a lot of things happening in the city, marriages or any functions, people put crackers and all such kinds of things. I thought some function must be going on somewhere. But when I reached from my home towards my office, I found the road getting closed, the traffic getting closed, and life coming to a standstill. So when I reached my office, some of my members from my group, Shivam Social Group, they were waiting near my office. They told some incident had happened at German bakery. So immediately I moved towards the German bakery. When I entered inside German bakery, it was a different kind of scene which it's very difficult to explain. The scene itself brought tears in my eyes, anger, sadness, all emotions came out. And when I saw people lying in German bakery, many of them injured, asking for help. So it was a very difficult thing to see. Then I went, many of them, I called the ambulance. These injured people, I helped them out to get to the hospital. And continuously in the next 3 to 4 days I was over here. And these things, when it happened, till now I am not able to find the answer for what reason.
That frame does a good job of capturing his life, really, because he was this if any you ask anyone who knew him, he was a fun-loving guy. He always felt trapped in the wrong the wrong field, which was engineering. He was very extremely passionate about music. Loved going out with friends and having a good time, and just one of those guys who everybody wants to have around. Everybody had one common thing to say, is that he didn't have a mean bone in his body. He was one of those who we all, even while growing up and as a family, he was the more naive one out of all of us. The easy one, the good one. So yeah, what he was doing basically was catching up with a friend from his uni, who was also planning to do the same course that Vikas had already completed. So they were basically catching up to exchange notes and sort of just do a catch up on that. And he was not even a very close friend who he was meeting. He was just somebody he went to school with, obviously, and they studied together. That kind of a relationship. And yeah, I obviously very clearly remember that he left sometime maybe post sunset at around that time. I was going to the bakery and this is the agenda and I'm going to be back. And my dad was not around that time. I don't think he was at home or maybe he was in his room. But me and Vikas just finished tea and he left. And I had a friend's birthday party to go to, in fact, in Koregaon Park itself. So I had nothing to do but just get ready and show up there at the venue. So that's what I was doing. I was getting ready to leave, and I got a call. So he just called to check if I was there and if I knew anyone else who was there because something has happened and he's also in Koregaon Park, so he's heard the explosion as well. So basically, just checking on each other. And I told him, yeah, I'm not at the bakery, but and if he was sure if something has happened at the bakery, because I told him that my brothers stepped out some time back, and he did mention he's going there. Obviously, the first reaction was to call Vikas and check on him, and since the time I started, I never got through to the same friend who called me to check on me came over. I didn't tell my dad much, but I had to tell him something because he's going to switch on the TV or he's going to hear from someone else, and plus he's my dad, so I had to kind of divide the stress. I was supposed to meet my friend, in fact, the one who called me at the bakery or at the bakery, and that's where I was heading. And my house, there are two ways to get there. So I took the back road, which is via South Main Road, and I didn't get too far along because there was major traffic, even though I was on a bike. I ended up leaving my bike and I ended up walking it to German Bakery on foot through lane 1, which is the Osho lane. So I walked it, and there was quite a chaos over there. I didn't see much of the bakery because there was nothing much left to see of it. So there was literally nothing visible, except the fact that there were just too many people there, either in distress, cops, people trying to help, just general public chaos, all of that jumbled up together. I just asked a cop if all the bodies if everybody had been evacuated of the place, or is there anyone inside. And they said no, everyone's been evacuated and all victims have been taken to either in Lax Hospital or Jahangir Hospital or Ruby Hall Hospital. So obviously I walked back to Inlax because that's the closest one from there, and then that's when I finally met my friend. We spent some time there outside. That's like I said, it was so beginning that even name lists were not ready, so they had not identified how many victims had been brought into the hospital or what their names were or anything of that sort. But we gave it a shot. We spent a good hour at Inlax Hospital trying to figure out if they can either let us in or help us by just giving the name, give us an update. I managed to convince someone to let me in because they didn't have a name list ready, and obviously I was at a very distraught situation that time, which must have been visible. So they let me in, and again I was let in alone, and my friend had to wait outside. And I was taken directly to the floor where all the victims were, and someone said go and have a look and see if you find your brother. So that was the only option I had, and they were actually letting us do that. So I took a walk around. It was again quite a painful procedure. No luck. It was also very difficult to see and identify people because everybody was just pretty messed up.
I found out people lying down everywhere. The German bakery, all the roof was all down, all tables, chairs, everything were spreaded over here. Blood on the floors everywhere. And when I saw this thing, I immediately went forward to help out the people who were still alive, asking for help. I called out the ambulance, put the injured people in the ambulance, took them to the hospitals. After taking them to the hospitals, was visiting for the hospital for the next 2-3 days, trying to see are these people recovering.
We seen the injured people were like the auto rickshaw drivers or the people passing by are trying to help out at that particular moment. They are picking up bodies and putting into the ambulances. Everyone is rushing with their own vehicle just to help out. A person came up asking, like, the two of my children were there in German bakery and I'm unable to understand where are they right now, what is their current situation. And he was crying like anything, and like it brought up tears in even my eyes. I thought that person is helpless and no one is there to help him out directly. So what I did, I asked my team to help out the doctors, and I just stood up next to that particular person. With that particular man, we went to the dead house directly, and like in a short while we came to know that those two children have given their life in that particular bad incidents. We saw uh, blood everywhere in the hospital. Even dead house was open, so the bodies which are there since 15 days, even the blast, they were smelling out badly.
Yeah, so when I got there first, yes, he was conscious, and that's the last time I saw him when he could at least talk. Because after that he was put onto life support and ventilators. So, and he never got off that till for the whole week that he battled. So we didn't see him in consciousness, and none of them saw him. In fact, none of them could meet him or meet him the way they would have wanted to meet him. I was the only one who had that chance, and once my father came in, we were told that he's in a critical condition. It's going to have several consequences in the sense that the body has been subjected to quite a lot physically. That was I think the brief lowdown we must have got in the beginning. And like I said, the doctors were also they had also not seen anything like this. So obviously the first 24 hours, the information was also very sporadic, coming after very long gaps. And somewhere in the night we were told that his kidneys have been affected. That was one aspect of it, and that he's going to need a dialysis. And also that his leg, I think his left leg had also been affected by those shrapnel things that basically split into hundreds of tiny pieces, and then they get into your body and kind of creates infection. So these were the two things that I remember that were the most critical, and that was told to us, which is when we told my mother and my brother to come down as well. And starting the next day, the next 8 days that followed it was filled with this. I mean, this kind of sums it up, because each day had some good news, some bad news, some good news, some bad news. Good news from anywhere. Not just in the case of Vikas, because there were, I think, some 5-6 boys in that ICU, and so 5-6 families in that ICU waiting room as well. And everyone was pretty much going through the same thing. Everyone had similar injuries. Everybody's kidneys were affected, so everybody needed dialysis, and dialysis was working on a rotational basis, because I guess they didn't have enough machines. Yeah, we were literally seeing they were falling like a deck of cards, because every 2 days, every other day, somebody would give up. That was a very disheartening to see as well, because gradually that beds started getting emptier in the hospital, but that was because the guys never made it back to life. Likewise, even the waiting rooms got emptier because families stopped waiting. They left. They went back home. And I think the 7th or the 8th day, it was time for us also for the same to happen. And those 8 days are just I don't know. It's the worst 8 days, I guess. Constant being in that constant fear and mercy and helplessness, because you really can't do much, and you gotta have some amount of faith and trust with the doctors and the hospitals, and let them do what they think is best. It, it, it has changed so much. It has changed us. It has changed the way we think. Everything has changed. It's life for me before Vikas and after Vikas. It's literally like that, because so much has changed. The immediate aftermath was, I don't know how to put it to words. I mean, none of us saw this coming. It's hard to imagine to lose someone who's a part of your family, someone you've grown up with. You don't even realize that that the person is not going to be around, and let alone realize in this way is not going to be around for forever. And also because it was not a natural death. It was not yet time to go. According to most of us, at least, it wasn't time for him to go. Yeah, it was just heartbreaking, man. It was heartbreaking to see your parents lose a child. It's heartbreaking to see your mom lose a son. It's heartbreaking to lose an elder brother who's just 2 years elder to you. All of it was devastating. Today, I'm more come to terms with what has happened, and a little more in peace with what happened than I was back then. Back then it was kind of turbulent, obviously, because there was just too many emotions, too much happening, too much for anyone to deal with, and everybody is dealing with the situation in their own way. Today I can't imagine. I don't think I'll ever imagine what it is for any of my parents, because what I itself feel and what I went through, I feel is so much. I can't imagine what it is for a parent to see there. I don't think any parent is prepared for a day like this, really, to see your own little one just, yeah.
After the blast, there's a lot of eyes keyed on to if we are opening back and how we are going to open back. So then when a thought was given to it, we kind of wanted to open it up in the real sense, like use brighter colors, use fresher, tones, shades, whatever artwork you see around here, which is done by local artists. Also, when it came to food, there's a whole lot of difference as compared to the food which was there at German bakery before. It was very snacky type of food earlier on. We've retained all the old goodies, plus we've added on a lot of other things. We're doing all those sorts of very good, tasty and unfortunately forgotten food. We've brought that back to life with this place.
Basically, the owl is carrying the German bread, the Prickzel, and the earlier logo was the German bread. And so the owl is bringing it back. So like that was the exact thing.
The Greek mythology puts it as it's a symbol of reincarnation. So this is a reincarnated version of German bakery. So that's where the owl comes in. There's about 16 odd cameras which are installed throughout the building, throughout the premise rather, not the building. And we monitor all the gates. We have security checks done for all the people who are employed with us. And there's always somebody like Kunal who's managing whatever's going on. You can say that.
Yeah. And each and every person who comes in the bakery, in the restaurant, he's being monitored. The surveillance system is on 24 hours.
We do hope that something like this does not happen. Terrorism is not good for anybody, and frankly, all we should be spreading is love and good food.
It's not something that you have only lost. Your parents or your children, they are our family members, and we all have lost them. So might not be able to help you out physically at your place, because the loss which has happened to you can't be counted, but we are there with you, and we will make sure that these kind of situations will never happen in this particular country. We are the awake citizens, and we'll try to spread the awareness, and hopefully these kind of situations will never occur again. So we'll try to take up necessary actions against all this with the help of government.
Not sure what if there's a solution to all of this. It all depends on individual morality, what people think. If people, a lot of people think that killing is fine, 17 deaths to make a point is fine, and it's very difficult to change that kind of thinking. I guess that's how you have to do it. You have to make small efforts towards a more peaceful life, a more happy life. People with time forget the meaning of life and why they're living. If people would just try and stick to be happy, we wouldn't have to do all of this.
It's made me realize so many things. I don't know if I've been able to practice it, but I respect my parents now more than I ever did before. I care for them even more now because I know they're still healing from bruises. Taking someone for granted because you don't realize that they're going to be gone, and you're not going to get a chance to really show the love that you wanted to show. All the fighting, all the cursing, all the squabbling. Now it seems precious time was lost.
A real tribute to them will be when you see and take it seriously to provide awareness among the people, see the city remains secure, and even if there are a lot of troubles in objections, lot of obstacles, but still you need to fight with the system, with the police authorities, because being an individual, being a responsible citizen, unless and until the citizens come together, these things are not going to happen. People should come together and see that the city and the area and the families stay happily and peacefully in the city.